We are so hopeless. This is hopeless. I think we should just go. Let's just go with it.
Right, let's go with it.
This is our third attempt.
This is our third attempt, and you all you guys are gonna love it. All right. That was so grounding.
Actually, it really was, wasn't it?
That was so grounding.
I was worried that it was gonna lift us up, but it's actually grounded us.
Yeah, we don't need the crystals anymore.
Centered us. And now we can continue. Ashley Shanahan.
Me.
Oh my God. The legend. It's such an honor to sit here with you today, and just to really bring two seasons of the Mastership program together in a little highlight reel and an interview with you. It really is such an honor, because I know how much I sit here on the other side, obviously, and can see how much you have grown, like incredibly, over those 12 months. But I know that you are also sitting on the other side and also witnessing how much I have grown as well as your mentor. And it feels so beautiful to be able to share that complete journey with you. And I really feel like we've done it together. Like, I can honestly say, like, this has been a journey for both of us.
Yes. It's been like the best journey. Like, and someone asked me, like, why are you doing it a second time? And I was like, I feel so comfortable and so loved, like, within your space that you hold, that why would I want to start all over again with someone else when I've come this far, and I can see and visualize how far I can go further with you. And it's just been mind-blowing, like, how far I have grown. And I love it, and I love you.
Oh, and I love you.
We both speak light language.
And that has been so much fun as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about light language? And I guess that is a beautiful example of some of the ways that you have grown. And I guess when we talk about your growth or your development and stuff like that. But what I really think about it as is just your reconnection and just remembrance.
And that's exactly what it felt like a remembrance, but still logically just maybe 10% knowing what it is. But yeah, the light language that me and Loretta spoke just before, as you could see, like, it was quite powerful for both of us and very grounding. So what I've kind of explored so far since it's come through, started coming through in November last year. And I remember coming to Loretta one session, and I was like, I started like clicking my tongue and making these noises in a distance Reiki session that I was doing for someone else. And you were very comforting and nurturing, like, yeah, that's light language. I was like, oh, okay. Am I meant to know, like, what what next? And like, I think within like a week, you'd organised someone to come in, like within the Nourished Energy group, to come and talk about light language. So that was really cool. And I just like all along, like all those little aspects of like something new that'll pop up. Next minute, Loretta's got someone in like that's their field, that's their expertise to come and talk about it. So I felt really supported in that way as well. Yeah, the light language has been incredible. So I started speaking it, November last year, and then signing it probably in February, and then writing it like maybe 2 months ago, after Loretta in one of the sessions, like, you need to be drawing. Like, are you drawing it? I'm like, no. And I remember leaving the session and like, when am I meant to be drawing? Like mountains? And I was like, I'll pick up a pen and see what happens. And then all of a sudden, all these symbols and light codes were coming through. So I was like, wow. And it's got this sort of like, when you speak the light language or you draw, it's this like this beautiful energy behind it that's got specific intentions, like whether it's activating, clearing, releasing, or sort of like enabling your energy field to like receive love or whatever you need in that moment. So it's been really cool adventure. And me and Loretta have been sending little messages to each other, and that really sparks a lot of joy.
It is a lot of fun. The in between session support has become language. English is no longer required.
And that's like another thing in my mastership. I always used to say, or still do, I don't know that in English, and like always just really frustrated that you couldn't read my mind, or you just didn't know what I was saying, because I don't want to use English words. So if everyone could get on board with light language, that'll be great for me.
Or telepathy.
Telepathy, yep.
Yeah. I think that is just a really beautiful example as well, how I just like dropped the seed for you. And, I remember doing that in quite a few of your sessions.
All of them. All of them. I'd like listen to you and I'm like, okay, I've received the seed, I'm not sure what it means. And then within like 6 to 24 hours, like, oh, okay, we're going down this new path. So it's really cool to receive all those little seeds, and all the education that you provide within the Nourished Energy group has been like amazing.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear as well. Yeah, I do try to make it relevant for I guess, everyone's on their own stage of their journey as well, but certainly I know that there are many of us who feel like there is definitely like this cosmic shift, and like there is definitely the idea of, I don't know the English words, and to try to talk about that or to share that in English feels foreign. And that's not unusual, because I think that many of us feel like it's weird to be here.
Yeah.
And being human is really difficult, and it's really awkward. And that's why I say, like, it's for you especially, and for many of us, it has been a journey of just remembrance. And I really wanted to go back to when you started your first mastership, because you were not talking light language, like you were not doing
doing
those things. Yeah. And so I would love for you just to go back a little bit and just to share, I guess, I know we did level 3A together, and then you left it for a little bit. And then you, I'd love you just to talk about, I guess, the way you made a decision to do the mastership, because I love that. And I love just where you were at and what, I guess, you were hoping to get out of it in the first season.
So I did 3A July 2019, and then everything sort of like in my life that needed to fall apart or fall away did in the next year after that. And I think it was like start of August, I was just randomly on Facebook. I was part of the Nourished Energy crew, but I hadn't been like active in the group. And a video come up, you talking to some newly graduated Mastership students, and I was like halfway through watching that, and Mastership, like the word Mastership come up, and I just remember in my mind going, oh, I'm doing that. I was like, oh, am I? I'm doing that. And then I sent you an email like within 15 minutes of watching it and said, hey, I'm interested in the Mastership, and you wrote back and started the following Tuesday. But where I was at that point was, I guess, everything had fallen away that I attached myself to and thought I needed in life. So I was like newly separated and in between work after an accident, and sort of I was at a point very lost and just like, what am I meant to do? Like, what's the point? Like, not in like a negative way, but just needed direction and just feeling lost. And I went into to the Mastership with the intention that I was going to find some, like I had no idea what the Mastership was going to bring. Like, if you had written down dot points, I'm like, well, that's not a Mastership, that's like Harry Potter movie or like something unimaginable. So I come in very like naive, set the intention. I think you told me to like set some intentions what I wanted. My intention was like, I don't want to go here, I don't want to talk about here, rather than like goals or anything like that. So that's probably a good indicator of where I was at when I entered, because I was like, I want to find myself or find my direction, but I don't want to go here, here, and here. And I learned very quickly that I needed to go here, here, and here to go here. And Loretta was like the most, like still is, like she's the most like beautiful, loving, nurturing, seed dropping, push when you need it, mentor that I needed. Like I needed someone to hold space, but then also call me out on where I was, not like hiding from something or not wanting to see something. So that was really cool. At the start of the Mastership, I had no intention of being a practitioner or like turning it into a business or anything like that. I was just like, I just need direction, like in me, like within myself. And I really had a block against that throughout the whole first Mastership. And it wasn't until the start of this year that I was like, okay, well, I'll do a few steps towards it and see how it feels as a business. And now I have a business and practicing Reiki on other people. So that shows how far I've come. And then all the sort of my connection. So growing up, I didn't know anything about spirituality. Like I bought my first crystal 2.5 years ago. Didn't know what they do. So that looks pretty. The sign says it does this, this, and this. And then within three months, I was talking to past, like to spirits and stuff. I was like, whoa, is this everyone's like journey? Like once they get a crystal. So all, so as my journey's come along, like I've really remembered my spiritual connection, and that's enabled me to sort of connect back into my body, and for my body to be healthy again, because I was so not connected to my body and so not aligned with anything that I should have been doing or my purpose or direction or anything like that. So I've really feel like I've really nailed it. I've probably still got another 200 layers, but I feel like I really want to celebrate how far I have come.
Oh, mate.
Or is it 400 layers we've gone through?
No, Ash, you really did nail it. I remember it's so funny how you said I didn't want to go here, because even just listening to you now talk about Also, I was recently separated. This had happened. This had happened. I didn't even know that stuff about you. Like you showed up and you're just like, yeah, so anyway, I just like you just wanted to move forward. You just did not want to look at anything or where you're at, or like there was just but the most ironic thing about that is, and slowly I got to uncover who you really were and where you've been and what's been happening. But the irony of you wanting to move forward so badly was that most of season 1 with during the mastership was us doing past life work.
Yeah. I remember I think it was like the first week I come to you back, and I was like, I think I might have like tapped into a past life of me and my husband had. We're both guys, and he was stabbing me to death. And that's why I come to you, and maybe just a couple more details. And we went from there.
We just rolled with it. We had to, we delved a lot into past lives. And I think what comes from that was like a lot of the patterns and the responsibility that I take on, like that I've taken on for a lot of people around me. The masculine,
feminine. The masculine, the feminine. I didn't know what that was until like week 5. Was that even a thing? So a lot of those patterns that come like presented through them past lives were really cool to explore and see how it shows up in this life, and slowly work through them, didn't we?
Yeah,
one country at a time.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And then I guess fast forwarding to season 2, we delved still a little bit more into past life, but it was a lot more about connecting your ancestral stuff. We did a lot of work on that. Some really, some of our sessions together were like literally some of my most profound experiences, and with a student or client, and there were very many that I always will remember as just being absolutely incredible, and so much so that I loved even we've been able to even connect on a past life level as well, but also in like a cosmic cosmic life as well, which has been amazing too. Even just to meet each other's guides, and like the connection was unbelievable. It has been really, really profound, but always relating to what your human experience was going through at that particular time, and what you were needing to I guess heal through and grow through at that particular moment. You've always, just want to say, like, you always showed up, and it's not like you just left it at, oh, that was a weird experience and I'm just gonna kind of shelve that, but you always were willing to show up and do the work, like even at this 3D level, and ground your experiences into this life, and how can you be a better version of Ash, right? And that is so inspirational, Ash. Like it's really awesome, and I really honor that commitment that you showed to yourself.
I honor it too, and I will be forever grateful for you holding that space for me. It makes me emotional.
Oh, me too.
So we were sisters in northern China. I forget what year though, but yeah, we've got a sister connection, don't we?
And we had a dog.
Yeah, Sammy.
Yeah,
it was a boy.
We had a dog. Yes. Yeah, it was fun. And I got to visit. Yeah, we had some wild experiences. I remember once, probably one of the funniest times was this. Yeah, you remember this one. So
Yeah.
I met one of Ash's guides and during the healing session, and she was a starseed, and Freya her name is, and she was like picking kind of like this blue kind of looking thing, and she was picking like weird looking berries or something from a tree. It was all just very strange, just imagining that kind of thing. And I just started chatting to her, and I was asking her all these questions, and she was just mocking me. She was totally she was having so much fun with me because I was wanting to know all the things, and I was asking her all the questions. And she was telling me that, you know, in order for me to communicate, that we had to hold our hands up to one another. And in order for me to communicate with her, I had to hold my hand up, and she would then hold her hand up with mine. But then she dropped her hand and was still talking, but telepathically communicating to me. And then I said, "Oh, your hand is not," and she's just laughing at me. She's like, all that stuff is so superficial, right? It doesn't actually mean anything. So we put and it was such a beautiful lesson in, I guess, in the lightheartedness of our day-to-day life, but also the fact that we put a lot of like emphasis on the stuff that doesn't actually matter.
And I felt like that's like part of my personality, because like throughout the first season, like, do we have to do it? Like, can I just skip doing that part? Like, I just want to go straight into this. I don't think I need that. So it was really cool, like when you had that experience, like, yeah, we don't need that stuff. But no, that was a pretty cool experience, and now we like talk through our hands.
Yeah, we've had some really special experiences, and I also I would love you to share. There was, you know, another really profound experience, which was where this guy comes from, Mukite. So another time I just felt this real kind of ancestral stuff coming through to do with Australia and you know, Native Australians, and I said to Ash, like, I can see like some elder, or like there is someone here for you, and they want you to connect with them. And now you and your mate are like besties, right? Like, but also I would love you to share not just the, you know, how you've connected with that part, but also work that you do, the earth healing stuff that you do.
I'd love to share. So once you connected with my guide, he's given me the name Widget, but so that's what I call him. So once you told me about him that night, I was like, well, I want to connect with him. Like, it's not fair that Loretta only got to connect with him. I want to connect with him. So I sort of like, when I connect in, I kind of do like a semi meditation, but I can do it quite quickly. And I've seen Indigenous Australian man, and he was very nurturing, but very like like a very conservative nature, sort of not jumping about and whatnot. But it's almost like we had some missions to go on, and the first forget the first one, but I'll tell you the second one. I remember that clearly. I connected in with him, and it was almost like he was saying, we need to go here. And all of a sudden I in my third eye I could see us walking through sort of like massive like stone, like rock kind of things in the Northern Territory somewhere. I don't know the English words for the things, but you can imagine they were rocks. And we walked through, and I could see symbols, like symbols and artistry on like the sides of the rocks, and I was like, okay, this seems really important. And it was almost like I could see like Egyptian symbols as well as Indigenous Australian artistry symbols as well. And then we got to this like cove at the end, but only women were allowed to go in. So he almost like said, go in there, and I'll wait out here. And I went in and I could see it was like a circle of Indigenous ladies, and we're all doing, and I joined in straight away, and it was like we're all doing womb healing, and it was really cool. And I was come through that it was, I don't know, I think it's just, I'm guessing it's a spot in Australia, but it comes through really clearly. There's like this spot in Australia, like connection to the earth. There's really like significant, strong womb healing. And I could see myself laying there, and like I was crying in my physical body, but I was like, and I could feel like all the release from my womb space, and it was like my connection to my, like when I was in my mum's womb space. So a lot of that trauma and pain and come through that, like when I was in her womb space, that I'd almost like her father passed away when I was in her womb, and it was almost like I'd taken on responsibility and like wanted to take on her pain, and I was like, I'll be good, I'll like I'll take all, like I'll fix you, I'll be responsible, and I energetically taken on a lot of her trauma and pain. And I could see like within this like code, like I could feel like all of that releasing, and I was like processing it at the same time. So that was really cool. So he's taken me on like little adventures like that. And then another one that we were actually doing sort of like earth healing. So we're at Uluru, and I had my back like sitting against Ayers Rock, and we connected in sort of to the womb space of the earth, and I could see it like a energetic grid, and light and energy was going around, and I could see like the spots around earth that were like blocking or not receiving like abundance, vitality sort of energy. And I could see that sort of, I guess, trying to find the English word, like regenerating or reconnecting. So that was really cool. So I go on lots of little earth adventures like that. And I'm slowly putting words to.
I love it. It's so powerful and so beautiful. And you know, as well as all of these incredible, crazy things that we've experienced, I mean, there was also a lot that you were experiencing in your life, like in your actual human life and your human experience. And you know, there was a lot of that stuff that you were also needing to grow through. And yeah, it's been amazing just to watch you again, like no longer try to avoid it, and you know, but really try to, you know, that, you know, you've got to own it now. And yeah, I mean, even just getting you to do
yes, it's been a process. Well done to you.
It's taken a little bit of time, but like your confidence and your just, I guess, your abilities to really stand in and acknowledge that this is who you are, and be really proud of it all, like your whole self, right? Yeah, it's really been this beautiful journey to watch you, I guess, love your whole self, Ash. Like
it's been amazing, like especially like the feminine, connecting back in with the feminine and masculine. I'd say that's probably like one of my significant changes. I remember when you first were telling me about it, and I was like, I don't even know what that feels like what is masculine, what is feminine. Like my views on masculine were the opposite, and you know, all that kind of thing. And I come back to you in session like, I was real feminine in the last week. Like I just sat there and I was just loving it. All these like little instances where I'm like, I received love. Like, I didn't try and fix something. I just sat there and was just holding space.
I love we measured you know, how far you'd come when you said to me, so I bought a floral bed sheet, and the next one was I bought a pink jumper. I was like,
so feminine.
My work here is done. That's it.
That has been the work, coming back into my feminine, my masculine.
Yeah, it's been really amazing. And so I think, you know, just all of that is such a good lesson in, it doesn't it doesn't matter how wild or how amazing and out of this world experiences you have, but the reality is that you're here for a purpose now. Um, and that's the real work, right? Like we have to be able to bring all those experiences into our human experience and make those changes down here. Yeah.
And there was always themes, like I think like second season, like we were always like concentrated on the themes, like we may explore these past lives or spirits or cosmic or wherever it may be, but always like finding the underlying theme that was like the message or the thing that I needed to work on, or both of us needed to work on. Like that was really cool to always come back to that, because it's almost like it allowed me to ground and do the work.
Yes, exactly.
Not get caught up on like, oh, but in Russia last week I was doing this, and so that was really cool to work on that with you, to find the themes and like where I was hiding that within myself.
Yeah, so powerful. It's really, really good. And I guess, is there, I mean, you talked about some of the highlights. Is there is there anything in particular that you feel like maybe working with me, like, do you feel like there was any added benefit, I guess, in doing this sort of work with me in particular, or with just being in this container of doing the whole mastership? We haven't talked about the fact that every single week you are being activated with a symbol through a Reiki symbol, like through the mastership. And so this is where the themes really come into play, right? And I guess, just talking about that experience and doing that with me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I couldn't imagine doing it with anyone else. And that's not just saying that, like I truly mean that, hence why I did it a second time. It was like so much was happening, like finding the parts of me, and then exploring that and processing that and like integrating and seeing how that looked in the real world. Like you held such like amazing space, and like I'd come to you each week with something big, like I'd be like, this happened, and it didn't, like you would always were there, and you listened, and you held space while I worked through it. And that's always been like something growing up. I've never like told a lot of people things, because I'm like, oh, like what will their judgments be, or blah blah blah. Like with you, I never had to worry about that. I'd be like, and this week I seen aliens, or this week I went to Russia, or this week, like it was always like I knew that I could just blurt out whatever to you. It took a little bit of time at the start, but that's me, because I didn't want to go to them areas. But yeah, you showed, and like I felt the love that you support, that and love energetic field that you held me in. Like that was the first time like I felt like more about me than anyone else does in the whole world. Like you just held such like an energetic love field that I could explore all of me without like judging it. Or it was hard, not gonna lie, but I was like, I could do that hard work in that container. Like there would be other containers I'd imagine that I probably wouldn't push it as far, but you just really like held, and I went deep. So I'll be forever grateful. And the banter that we have and the lightheartedness, that's been like amazing, because that's what I like. That's one thing that I need in life. It's like, okay, I'll go deep, but I also need to be able to like lighten it up at the same time. Otherwise, like I don't want to get stuck. So that's been awesome. So thank you for bringing the banter as well.
Oh, thank you. No, it's important that we laugh at ourselves and at our experiences, because it can be really heavy. It can be really, really heavy. And life itself can be really heavy. So it is important to be able to balance that and to have a good time while we're on the journey. And yeah, there have been many times where I have actually just been in tears, crying, and just laughing so much with you. So it's even from my end, it's been amazing. And I'm going to miss you so much.
I've got so many memories.
So many. Thank you so much, Ash. And where can people find you, and where can people work with you one-on-one? You're teaching Reiki. Talk to us a little bit about all of the things.
You can find me on Resonate within on Instagram. Haven't got a website yet. In the future, I won't make any promises there. I at the moment am doing human design coaching, Reiki sessions, but just trying to find the English words. My vision and what I want to offer for people is like a session that includes a bit of human design, a bit of Reiki to help support sort of their, like where they're at, and help come back to alignment, and bring in my light language as well. So I'm working on a program at the moment to sort of like for people to join, like go on a bit of a journey with me, and that's where my passion is, to be able to hold space for someone else like you have for me, and really allow someone to explore themselves in finding their direction and their purpose and their alignment. So I do one-on-one sessions, but then I'm also want to bring in the journey part, because I think we're very joy sparking. And I'll be teaching Reiki in the future. I haven't yet put that out there, but that's something that I will be doing.
Yay! I love it. Thank you so much, Ash.
Thank you. Love you.